Hello everybody, it's Carrie with FHBME. I am actually in Target, so I hope you can hear me. I'm back to school shopping today with my kids, and I actually thought I would do it like in Target's in the back to school section, but there's a major reset. So you can see people are like, they're restocking back to school because there's only, here in Texas, there's only maybe a couple weeks left for before back to school. So they are stocking the shelves like crazy. And I wanted to do it today from here because I wanted to tell you about a little confession that I have, which is there was a time about 10 years ago when I felt horrible shame every time I came to do back to school shopping with my kids. And there's a reason for that. So for 5 glorious years, some of you may or may not know, I got an opportunity to work for the brand Crayola. I was in sales. I loved it. I would even say probably I loved it too much. It was a little bit too much of my identity. And after 5 years, I lost my job as a part of a reorg, a big company reorganization, and I was one of the ones that lost my job. So I carried around this horrible shame, and I felt like maybe I was the only one who'd ever lost her job. I don't know. But every time I would see Crayola stuff or back to school, I would get this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach of just sadness and loss and all sorts of things. And maybe you've been somewhere where something is brought up for you in your past, or a loss or anything that is kind of stealing your joy from some things that should be great. I mean, back to school is awesome. My kids are about to go back to school. I'm so excited about it. But there was a time there right afterwards that I just couldn't feel joy. And so what I wanted to tell you today is we're almost 9 years after losing my job. I can see the big picture now. I can see that it was time for me to move on. There were big things that I needed to do for our restaurant. There were things I needed to do at home for my kids, and it was absolutely the best thing for me. But and now I can walk into back to school section and I can feel joy again. So if you're in the middle of something that is stealing your joy, or making you feel sad or less than, or any of those kinds of things, I just wanted to give you a little bit of hope today from the back to school section that there is hope. I do feel joy when I go to back to school shopping now. I can see the big picture of why I was where I was, and why I needed to be pulled out of Crayola personally, and go do the other things that I was being called to do. And so that's it. That's your life lesson, confession, and obsession from this not so secret gardener in the middle of the Target, in the middle of their reset for back to school. And until next week, blessings and blooms from FHB, and especially me.